I'm Tori Andreessen. I'm a wildlife major, and I had an internship at the Fun for Animals Wildlife Rehabilitation Center in Ramona, California, which is in like the San Diego County area this past summer. So just some general information about the organization. They are obviously a rescue and rehabilitation center, as I said, which means that we take orphaned, injured, and ill California native wildlife. They also had sanctuary animals there that were unable to be released, including 2 mountain lions, a pygmy hippo. That's actually the oldest pygmy hippo in the United States. It was born in November 1973, which I thought was pretty cool. It's older than my mom. And yeah, we used to have 3 peacocks. They were all named Kevin because you can't tell them apart. But one Kevin escaped before I got there. One Kevin got ran over by an intern, which is not good. But there's one remaining Kevin that still roams the property, and they have good times with it. And also, the Fun for Animals, just not recently, but semi-recently got affiliated with the U.S. Humane Society, so they got a lot of funding through them, and were able to build a new hospital and a bunch of good stuff like that. I also lived with 3 to 5 other interns on site during the summer, so it's cramped quarters. I just wanted to point out my interview process because it was very interesting and different. It was called HireView, and the employer was able to add any kind of webcam video asking a question, or she could just type out something and I could type something back. But usually my responses were through the webcam, and I was given 30 seconds to think about my answer and then about a minute or so to actually answer. And it was kind of stressful, but I could see things going in this direction with technology, so I thought it'd be interesting to bring up. So in my internship, my main goals were to work with rabies vector species because I got the expensive rabies vaccination. So I definitely wanted to use that. I obtained my raptor badge, which just meant that the staff felt comfortable with me handling and taking care of any of the raptors they had, which were Cooper's hawks. There's a red-tailed right here, or red-shouldered, and some owls, but not as many as I'd like. They have a bunch of feral cats. There's around 31 right now that are from the San Nicolas Islands, and they used to just live there, and then the U.S. government was using the land for something and they needed to get rid of them, and they were going to euthanize them all, but the Fun for Animals took them and created an enclosure for them, and now people take care of them there, so that's good. I also needed to finish a certain amount of classes based on the amount of time I was there with. It's a program called Collab Our Nation. A lot of the people in the San Diego Zoo and a lot of other animal organizations out there use this program to teach classes. So I got to learn a lot, which was really cool and interesting. I also had to develop an intern project that would help the Fun for Animals in the future, and mine was on black bear diets because they recently started rehabilitating black bears, and we had released one that was pretty hefty, so they were trying to work on that. I also needed to work full-time, 40 hours a week, in order to stay on the property. So every day when I had a shift, it was 8 a.m. to 5-hour lunch. My shifts ranged from husbandry, which was animal care, cleaning, feeding, whatever was necessary, and it was based on levels. So purple was these cats, the feral cats I was talking about. Green was raptors and opossums and some other stuff that we never dealt with. Blue is the rabies vector species, skunks, coyotes, and then red bears and all the sanctuary animals. So yeah, I was talking about the intern training classes, my intern project with the black bear diet. Also, there was a shift office duties where you sat at the front and just took calls from people who were concerned, which was it was almost more difficult than working with the animals. And then, yeah, the cat duties. So my contribution, most of the help at this organization is through volunteers. There's only about 5 staff positions. So especially the interns, because we worked full-time, we were helping a lot. There's also some public relations through tabling at farmers markets, or there was a fair that we went to trying to get the word out since it's a nonprofit. And also as volunteers and animal caretakers, we were the eyes and the ears for anything that was going on with the animals, so we could help staff out in that way. And this is Tonka on the right. He's one of our sanctuary mountain lions, and he was just so cute. He was basically a giant kitty cat. He would just rub up against the thing and meow, and it was pretty funny. He was bottle fed on the property. So some techniques I've used from my Warnell career in this internship. I had some basic bird handling experience through a bird banding course I took that was semi-associated through Warnell, but it was a lot different being raptors as opposed to tiny passerines. Also, some necropsy and just blood taking and other kind of skills from a wildlife techniques Maymester I took with Dr. Yabsley. And my Society and Natural Resources class honed the people skills necessary for working those difficult office shifts I was talking about. Because some people just don't know. And thank you for listening. Here's a bunch of pictures of animals.